Thanks so much for joining us for this week's City Council recap. My name is Chris Loos. I am joined by Jodynne. Thank you for being here.
Hi, thank you.
Absolutely. We're going to be covering the regular City Council meeting from May 19th, which took place on Tuesday. Usually we jump right into it. However, we're going to start this recap off a bit differently in lieu of the things that have been taking place in our neighboring city, Arcadia. Jodynne, I know that you grew up in Arcadia,
Yep.
left, came back with your family to raise your daughters in Arcadia.
My family moved here when I was 4 years old. I had what I thought was an ideal childhood, so I moved my family from New York back here to raise them. So I've got to see Arcadia at two very different times. I loved it. I loved the past 20 years. I just moved to Monrovia in 2019, so I'm still very connected to Arcadia and actually attended the city council meeting in Arcadia on Tuesday.
So let's pause right there just for anybody who is unaware of what has transpired in the city of Arcadia as of the past week or two?
I think it's 2 weeks now.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Can you articulate it better with?
So the mayor of Arcadia has pleaded guilty to being a foreign agent for China. I don't know the timeline. Previously, her boyfriend had been arrested and pleaded guilty for similar, if not the same charges. So the mayor of Arcadia is no longer there. The issue is one of the other city council members had tried to raise issues and questions and essentially, in my opinion, was bullied by the other city council members into being quiet, and they went so far as to even censure her. With her arrest, the community came out to voice their dissent and their opinion of the current Arcadia City Council on Tuesday, and it was very interesting.
Yeah. We're not going to go weigh in on that, but I just felt like it was important to mention it here. You know, we recap our city council meetings, and, you know, while every city has its things it's working through and trying to figure out, salute to our council and to our mayor, because no matter how they feel about something, whatever side of the fence they may be sitting on, there's always respect shown from the dais in how they speak to each other or about whatever it is that they're talking about. I've never seen anything.
I have never witnessed such disrespect from a city council to each other, to the people in the room, and to their constituents. I mean, I was embarrassed for them. But it also made me appreciate living in Monrovia. I always tell people, I'm like, I didn't want to move here, and my real estate agent somewhat pushed me to move here, and it's heaven. I always describe Monrovia as a little piece of heaven. And yeah, of course, we have our problems.
For sure.
Like all cities do. But again, like, I've never seen our city council be disrespectful. I have a lot of disagreements with them. They've never been rude to me, disrespectful, whatever. They do listen. They respond when appropriate. And I think they're doing a good job, quite honestly, with what, in these days and times, they're doing a good job.
And as the young folks would say, not to glaze our council. However, this is also very important as to why you should be involved in your community.
Yes.
People who are not involved and lay back and play way back and just let the people figure it out. They're smarter people than me. They'll figure it out. Listen.
Yeah, no.
You may know more than the people in those rooms. Maybe you can learn from those people in those rooms. Getting involved is the best way to figure it out. However that works for you, just get involved. Definitely vote. Vote for whoever you want to vote for, but do a little homework and learn who you're voting for. Like, I hear a story like this and I'm just like, how does this happen? how do these people get to those spaces?
Yeah. Well, and the problem is they start at the city level and then they work their way up. And then we wonder why we have all this craziness in the Senate and the House and the presidency.
Right.
Because it started at the local level a long time ago.
Yeah. Yes. So, you can look up and everyone likes to get excited about the big national headlines and the da 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 and the leaders over there like lock into your local area. Maybe if you could tighten your things up, your neighborhood will definitely get better, I promise.
Yeah. Recently I had a conversation with one of our city council members and he's like, "What are you doing to get involved in the city?" And I said, "I'm really focusing on what I can do on my block and in my neighborhood." I said, "I'm trying to make an impact with my neighbors. I'm blessed. I live across the street from Maryknoll. So I've been working, volunteering on projects with them for several years,
Which is what we've been.
which is where we met.
Mhm.
And just trying to make the blocks and neighborhood around me a better place to live, although it's amazing.
But it is. But that's where you start.
Amazing.
Like,
But
it's start there.
yeah, just start in your neighborhood.
Yeah, that's a great shout. So now we will jump into the city council recap. We do appreciate you checking this out. We want you to know that the full link to the meeting is below in the comments. It was about 2.5 hours almost. So we're going to keep this under 30 minutes for you. So if you're listening, you're checking it out on YouTube, it'll be easy. And we're also going to shout out timestamps. So if you want to go in, there were presentations that happened. I'll let you know where you can scroll in to see more information below. If you would like to be a part of the team and recap this with us, we're neighbors just like you. We got a seat for you. We will pull up and you can sit right there with us, watch the meeting. We'll go through it and recap it the best we can. We may make mistakes. No one here is a professional in this sort, but we are going to do our best to get you the information. The meeting was called to order at 7:36. Invocation from Pastor Joel Larson, a pledge of allegiance from Council Member Dr. Tamala Kelly. Roll call, all council members were present. There was a closed session with no reportable action. However, Mayor Shevlin recused herself due to an issue with like a negotiating partner. You can find out all of that about 8 minutes in on the link below. Jumping from there to presentations and proclamations, where the Pasadena Humane Pet of the Month, always a special guest, Kevin McManus, brought out Zoe, 5-year-old Belgian Malinois. I think I spelled it right, or I might have spelled it wrong. Real cool dog.
Very cute dog. They were surprised it's still there. I'm surprised it's still there. They always have cute dogs.
And free adoptions for all animals on June 6th. So June 6th, save the date, put it into your calendar. If you want to see the dog Zoe, 8 minutes and 38 minutes in, scroll in, check out Zoe. Then there was a student government liaison recognition. Elise, who has done a great job coming in, delivering student reports from Monrovia High School, was there, recognized for her service, gave a school year end report, talked about all the awards, Humanities Award, the Sign on the Line event that they do for everyone going to college, Renaissance Rally, incoming freshman class prep, all that good stuff. So about 10 minutes in, you can see Elise give her final report before she goes on to college. After that, it was the LGBTQ plus Pride Month proclamation, read by Mayor Shevlin, delivered to Amber Castellanos from the Underdog Bookstore, who spoke about and announced Pride Book Festival coming up June 20th at Library Park. So you could save the date on that. California Water Awareness Month. That was presented to by Dr. Anthony Fellow, who is part of our Upper San Gabriel Valley Water District. He gave a water update. The Key Well is at a record high 263.5 feet. So he said, we're doing great. Still got to keep conserving, but
yeah, there is still the problem with the golden mussel invasion.
yes.
So we do have, we're not able to access all the water we can.
Quick explanation of the golden mussel for anyone who turns in. It's not like a mussel, you know what I mean? It's different.
No, and it's it's an invasive species, and I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's an invasive species. It's not great for the water. And it is preventing us from using all the water that we could. We're also still in disputes over water rights. There are 7 states in dispute over water.
Colorado, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep telling my kids, and I tell everyone this, 2 skills to have for the future is water harvesting and growing your own food. And people are going to say I'm crazy. In 20 years, come back and listen to this video. I'm telling you now, growing your own food and water harvesting. There are going to be skills every one of us needs.
I agree 100%. There was also a push for tap water over bottled water. He said we have great tap water here in Monrovia. I was like, here, I see my water. I wouldn't drink it.
And I also think we have one of our wells is still shut. Like, yeah, I'd like more information on that. I do agree with him. All the plastics got to go.
Yeah.
In today's day and age, there's no excuse because there are hydration stations everywhere. Carry your own bottle.
Talk to Costco. That bank wall over there, Costco.
If you come to my house with a plastic bottle, you're going to be marched right out.
But you can see it. Check out more about the water conversation. It's 20 minutes in on the link below. From there, they went to the city manager and staff reports.
There was no public comment. I do want to call out the reading of the names from people.
My bad.
Or is that, yeah.
Let me,
before
my notes kind of jumped.
Okay.
My iPad reset a couple times while I was taking notes. So listen, we all get busy with real life. Like I said earlier, we're real people like that are just, and so life work was really crazy for me this week. So I was like listening and taking notes and watching it on YouTube. And so my notes are kind of jumbled up. So my bad. Thanks.
It's okay. We are people.
You know,
we're real. Come join us.
Yeah. Cause I don't want them to say, but oh man, that guy's like really a pro. Like I'll be trying. I found this.
I've never done this until he wrote me into this.
So yeah. So it was AB 1678. It was Mayor Shevlin was talking about an item she wanted to bring up in her report later.
That's right. Yeah. Yes.
So that was what kind of got mentioned. We'll get to that later. Consent calendar was approved. If you want to know what it was, there were like 20 items on the consent calendar. It's on our city website. It was voted or moved on unanimously, where they kind of basically vote on everything. Is it all good? If there was something crazy someone wanted to pull out, they would pull it out, discuss it more. But that got unanimously moved on. It was our attorney Craig's birthday. They brought out a cake saying happy birthday. And then we jumped to, happy birthday, Craig. Public comment. Then we got to public comment around 32 and a half minutes on the link below. Victor Benavides from City of Hope came in, talked about the bone marrow transplant 50th anniversary. Survivor stories shared as well.
I had no idea that bone marrow transplant started at the City of Hope. That was pretty exciting to know that. I mean, they are doing great work. And Mayor Shevlin's son was a donor, and it sounds like there may be an easier way to donate now, which they're going to investigate. So, I mean, happy anniversary, I hope. And it's great to have such a great resource in our backyard.
Absolutely. Dr. Tony Fellow reappeared, thanked the city for a Route 66 event, which was awesome. I got to go enjoy it myself. It's out of town. Ooh, the cars and the weather got all right. At first it was kind of raining, but it was beautiful. Go to the museum as well if you can. Like, they got this really cool display. I actually live right off of Route 66. I did not know that. I thought it was like, I was like, oh, I'm on Royal Oak.
Yeah, it doesn't go where you think it goes. You have to look to where it actually is. Yeah.
So they have it at the museum. There's 2 routes. So you could light it up, boom, 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 see one, light a different one, see the other way. So go check out the museum, and shout out to the city staff for a great job with the Route 66 event. Sherry Lochner came up to, and shout out to Sherry. She has been there consistently advocating for day laborers, immigrants. Reported the ICE-related deaths, which are now up to 68. Requested sanctuary city status and a memorial still for Carlos Roberto Montoya Valdez.
I really actually appreciate the people who go up and read the names.
Yeah.
And it's important that we don't forget, and we do. These are people, They are neighbors. They are our people, and we need to remember them. And we need to advocate for them. We can't just sit back.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Martha Mack, who came up, read names, along with Joseph King, who continued to read the remaining names of the deceased. So thank you, Sherry, Martha, Joseph, for consistently going to do this as a reminder. That was followed by Heidi Holden, who had some concerns about a housing project near the transit. She said it was more than half a mile away. She said it's an area that she walks. She doesn't see the historic preservation piece that was claimed to be a part of this project. Her concerns seemed real.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure, but I couldn't tell. This is the project that they talked about later in the meeting. Is this the same parcel? I thought it was, because it was described the same way. She was talking about it's approved for 14 units. Her concern is that it's going to be more.
Yes.
Later, they talked about the city actually acquired land, approved a project for 14 units, and they acquired the land to keep it out of the developer's hands from being much more than it is. And that's why I thought they were the same, but I wasn't exactly sure. Again, not a professional here. This is what we need to look, go back, re-listen,
Go back
and see if these are
47 minutes in.
the two same issues. Because if they are, like, again, the city's being very proactive in trying to preserve as much as we can. We don't want 8, 12-story buildings in Monrovia. Not just aesthetically, there are environmental reasons we do not want this.
Well, there was and one of the mentions was it being 14 units, allowing for 14 cars.
Yeah.
And
in a car-driven society.
Or you've got maybe 2 cars in the household.
Right.
Or 3
Or
cars.
3, or I have neighbors who have 5.
Or if you got friends or family coming over to visit, whether they park or did they stay? How does this work? She did seem a bit frustrated with not being able to get an answer.
Yeah.
She was directed to someone in the back, Sherry Bermejo, I believe.
Yeah, she was directed back to city planning commissioners.
Yes.
But she had gone to that meeting and they had told her to go talk to the city council. So there is a little bit of like, go talk to someone else there. She deserves information and feedback on these projects.
Yeah.
She should be getting it from the commission. That's usually what those meetings are. And if you haven't been to either the traffic and safety or the planning commission meetings, highly recommend them. They're so informative.
Yeah. Okay. I should go check it out. I haven't been.
I really enjoyed going to them.
I just feel bad for people who it's like, because I've been in that seat where it's like, oh, go talk to them. And you go, all right, cool. I go talk to them. Hey, da-da-da. Oh, go talk to them. I just came from talking to them.
Yeah.
So I came here now.
Yeah. I needed a stop sign near my house. They have stop signs. They were covered over by trees and everything else, and everyone blows through them. And I filled out the form online. I got a call right away from the planning commission, went down, met with them, presented my request. They investigated and they came up. They couldn't do it. I was asking for high visibility crosswalks. For various reasons, they couldn't put them in, but they came up with another solution. So our city does listen. But I learned so much at those meetings. They were very interesting.
Get involved. Go check it out. Summer school program, summer pool program. Partnership with Monrovia High School, Santa Anita Family YMCA, free open recreational swim, June 8th through July 31st. It's going to be Monday through Friday, 1 to 3:30, some lap swim lessons, details, that schedule, cost. They go into the whole thing. 51 minutes in, scroll in and see the cool presentation, but that's exciting.
Yeah, I think great job on partnership here.
Yes.
I mean, great job, because again, no one of these groups could have done this alone. And what an amazing resource to have in summer, which we know is really hot in Monrovia. So I mean, they're going to have free swim, but they're also going to have lessons that are very affordable.
Yeah.
I think I paid this 20 years ago for my kids to learn how to swim. So yeah.
Love it. Yeah. So right on time. Library strategic plan update. Shout out to Carrie Vance. Carrie, great presentation. This is exciting. 10-year plan refresh. Big growth in circulation. Up 126%. Programs are up 193% in participants. I love seeing this, like in these third spaces, if you would. Focus areas, they're looking at teaching more technology, AI, community connection, the different clubs that they have going on over there, the summer reading kickoff happening in June. Those were just a few things, but
Yeah, someone commented like they've just built a community. Like it's amazing. I had no idea all the things going on. I went to their adult art class, which was super fun. My friends and I all went one night. It was really fun. And I've been to a bunch of meetings there, but I really didn't know all these other programs they had going on. What an amazing resource and what a great job they're doing.
yeah.
One of the things they mentioned, like they're like, yeah, there's a bunch of people who didn't know each other who meet up there and they're either knitting or reading books or playing games or doing all these different things. And all these people who are neighbors but didn't know each other are now friends. And they really are building a community that I do think the access to technology is a huge piece. If you don't know anything about AI, go down there. It's so easy to use. It will change your life in amazing ways.
There's also the Library of Things.
Yes. Oh, that was great because
Super cool.
yeah. So they had a story about someone who had lost their home in the fire, and he needed a tool. He needed to fix something, and he went down and was able to check it out of the library of things.
The library card.
Yeah, and was able to check the tool out, fix what he needed to, and check it back in.
Oh, they got camping stuff. They got it's really cool.
Super exciting.
From there, they jump to parking enforcement update. Shane is coming for consistency. Citations will be issued during posted no parking hours, even after the sweeper passes. I did shed a tear, but I also understand.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big change. So, like, what happens now is once this street sweeper goes by your house, you have been able to, not legally, but you've been getting away with parking on the street once the sweeper goes by. They're not going to allow that anymore. They're going to start enforcing the rules. So, be aware of that. They are going to send out information and notifications. But it is going to be a big change for everyone.
Just watch the time. Go by the time, not by if you see the sweeper go by or not.
Exactly.
From there, they jump to the public records request, CHP incident, response time extended. Again, there was Olympic 2028 planning, economic development and vacancy update. Share coming June 16th. That's what I had on that. But again, go an hour 30-ish in on the link to see more. From there to council reports. I kind of put it all together. Shout out to all the council and the mayor, but they talked about Monrovia Days, success. Lots of folks talked about that and the excitement around that this past weekend. The walk, bike, roll events that took place on the 20th. There's also Water Academy graduation. Council member Spicer, congratulations.
Congratulations. That's no small feat.
Yeah, that's real cool. Along with and this is where AB 1768, the discussion took place around sales tax measure authorization for LA County. Added to agenda. It was mixed views about contacting Senator Perez, enabling legislation. Council didn't agree unanimously, and I can't read my own notes and thought right.
I don't know. I don't know if they told us what the next steps were. They just said they couldn't come to a unanimous decision.
And if people have voted already, it's too late.
Yeah. So it was a little confusing. They weren't expecting to talk about it.
Yeah.
It was a last minute ad. So it wasn't very clear. Unfortunately, with sale, I mean, we all feel like we're getting taxed to death, although I've recently been traveling to other places that pay much higher taxes than us. But still, it is an important issue. I think it would have been nice to have more clarity around it.
Yeah. Scroll in about an hour 30, go past that and get the good information for yourself. They did talk about a lot of different community events, so you can get dates and times for all of that. Save the date for July 4th. We're gonna have fireworks.
It's a big anniversary.
Wait,
250 years.
oh yeah, it is a big deal.
It's a big deal. I was just in Philadelphia, and they're going crazy.
Oh,
so
okay. Yeah, it's a bill. They got the yeah. Okay, got it. So that's all about 2 hours in, and just see the reports, hear them talk about it. You'll get a better gauge for yourself. Administrative items followed that November 3rd. Is the general municipal election. Called and consolidated with statewide election offices, mayor 2 years. There's a full presentation on this also, 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Yeah, so the big thing is we're aligning with the national elections. So our elections have always been on their own. We're now aligning, which hopefully will mean bigger turnout.
Yeah.
Please vote.
That's the
people.
goal of it.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say it, but Monrovia, we're not great at voting.
We've
Like our local election, yeah, but it's not even a quarter of the population who's voting.
So then, that's why that's why we started doing these recounts. You know that's what's really why this started. Like it was like,
Right. Come on, like a quarter, like it should be at least half. I'd like to see 75%, if not 100%.
if I vote out, rent, live, whatever.
This is your favorite. This is
yeah.
your city.
Yeah.
Voice your opinion.
Please.
And run for office. That's even worse. We get so many people who run unopposed.
Oh, I know. Don't give up the free layup. Like,
Again, what happens locally really does affect your life. You don't think it does? It does.
Yeah, for sure. If it's always wild to me when people just scream at like presidents and Congress people, and it's like, do you know your mayor?
Yeah.
Or city council people?
I bet you if our
commissioners?
I bet you if our city council walked down the street, 1 out of 50 people would know who they are.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding. And nothing against our city council.
No.
It's just most of the people in town, I don't think know who they are.
Yes. Get to know.
They're great. Get to know them.
And they're cool. Yeah, for real. They come to events. They're out.
Yeah, they're
in the other community. Yeah, for sure. Bond financial resolution 2026 preliminary. It's authorizing up to 76 million parameters for community center, rec park, fire station, city hall renovations, primarily Measure K repayment, but it was also, they talked about a lot of the different ways of the money. 2 hours, 11 minutes in.
It's pretty important. Our facilities are getting pretty bad. And having gone to the Arcadia City Chamber and seeing how spectacular it is, and then going into our city hall, it made me sad because I'm like, we're such a better city. We deserve a better environment. I mean, where you work makes a difference. It really does.
And the aroma is the same.
Yeah, it's straight out of 1970s.
It smells like 1970. It looks like 1970.
Yes.
It could use a little dust up. But y'all are great. We love y'all. That was it. We had adjourned at 9:56 at night. It was a long meeting, a lot of presentations. Meeting adjourned in memory of Ed Nupp. And the next meeting is June 16th. And that's where I lied it.
Good evening. Again, they were all very respectful to each other. They were respectful to the people speaking. They showed that they were listening. I'm glad we live in Monrovia.
Yeah, for sure.
That's my takeaway this week.
Oh, so that's a great take. I feel like we should just close it there, but we would love to have you join us, so if you want to reach out, KGEM-TV@gmail.com. This is a community table. KGEM Television is a public access network, one of the last in the country that is not forced to say things a certain way. And in 2026, those spaces are getting fewer and fewer. This is a nonprofit organization. They exist with donations. So if you care for local information, KGEM-TV is a great space. So KGEM-TV@gmail.com. Reach out, find them online, and
we'll see you next time.
See you next time.